What's up, everybody? It's Brandon, and I'm back with another Top 5 Thursday. This one is going to be for Adam Walls. We have finally gotten around to do your top 5 Vince Vaughn movies, and I'm sorry it took this damn long, but without further ado, here are my top 5 Vince Vaughn flicks. Coming in at number 5. I don't even know if I want to put this up here. I might get some hate for this. But I really had like 3 other comedies that I wanted to put here just as much as this one. But since it was all almost like a draw, even though I know I like this one more than most, I think it's very unfairly hated on, like a few of Vince Vaughn's comedies. Just the underrated aspect, I was like, I'm going to get this one on here. And that would be The Watch. Yes, there's Mr. Vaughn right there in the middle with Jonah Hill. This one kind of surprised me, man, because I remember when it came out, it looked fun enough, it looked cool enough. I loved the cast, but the only thing I heard about it was how fucking terrible it was. That's all I heard. The only buzz around this movie was, oh, well, it's garbage, so be ready for that. I watched it, and I laughed my ass off. I still laugh my ass off to this movie every time I throw it on, and it's probably become not necessarily one of my favorite comedies, probably not like no top 20 or anything like that, but you could throw it into like a top 50 mix probably. I mean, there's so many quotable moments in this damn movie. And the whole cast in general, I was afraid that maybe they underperformed or something, the way people were talking about it. They did not at all. Vince Vaughn in particular, because that's who we're talking about here, he's firing on all cylinders. Every little stupid joke he's saying, you know how he is. He does that physical comedy that is just so damn top-notch, and he's nailing it in this one. He's got one moment where he's arguing with his daughter because he wants everyone to come over to his man cave because he thinks Ben Stiller's house is too fucking boring, where his daughter's like, I hate it here. And he's like, well, I fucking love it here. The way he reacts to that, the way he amps it up to 11 when it doesn't need to be amped up to 11, all that patented Vince Vaughn shit is here, and he does it so well in this movie. And honestly, I love a fucking good stupid comedy, and that's exactly what this is. It is a stupid comedy, but it's a hell of a time, and I think The Watch is very underrated, and it's worth the watch, if you will. At number 4, one that some of y'all may have forgot about, maybe one that has not been seen by enough eyes. I got to go with The Cell. This is back when Vince Vaughn, of course he broke in with swingers and stuff like that, but he really, at the beginning of his career, had a lot of serious roles, including this one. You might forget he was in The Lost World, for Christ's sake. He broke into with the movie Psycho. We don't talk about that, though. The Psycho remake is terrible, and he was miscast as Norman Bates. But he really was that guy that was in all these kinds of movies that were serious, but it just never really worked out for him until, later on. But, I'll have something to say about that soon. That might be a giveaway. But then he kind of got into the comedy side of things, I should say. And he really found his niche, it felt like. Like maybe the serious movies weren't for him. Well, The Cell is one where, granted, it's not like the best acting in the world from him, but he's an interesting enough character. He's fair enough, and the movie is just fun as hell, dude. A lot of people have forgotten about this. Jennifer Lopez was actually even good in this movie. There's just something to it, man. It's like that sci-fi horror type movie, and it's an interesting idea. The fact that they can go in, well, I guess that's what they call as The Cell. I haven't seen the movie, admittedly, in a couple years, I don't think, but I do love it. That's why it's on this list. But I know they basically go into the mind of a serial killer that's played by Vincent D'Onofrio, and that's what Jennifer Lopez's character does. And Vince Vaughn is like a detective trying to get to the bottom of these murders and different shit, and then they're trying to find out where this girl is located by going into his brain and picking his brain. And the inside of his brain is like the most imaginative, fucked up place you've ever seen. And the thoughts that he has, Jennifer Lopez has to experience those. And Vince Vaughn even finds his way into the killer's mind too, because he has to go in after. And it is just an imaginative fucking thrill ride of a movie that I think deserves a lot more credit. It was an amazing movie, and D'Onofrio, I think, was amazing as the killer. And Vaughn, not too bad for an early effort in a serious movie. Let's kick it back to the comedies, though. And we got to go with Dodgeball at number 3. Stiller, you could make the argument, steals the show here. He is that fucking good. But Vaughn, man, he carries the movie very well. You know what I mean? Being, what is it called? The Globo Gym, whatever the fuck. He just is that guy that encapsulates, you know, he's not a great leader by any means, but he's the best leader for, you know, his group of guys. And the dodgeball in this movie, I mean, they even make that funny with the physical comedy, the way people are getting hit. Of course, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. And Vince Vaughn, I think, was just perfect to be the person, you know, the lovable loser, the fucking leader that doesn't really have it, but you know there's actually something deep inside of him where he can, you know, clap his hands, say a speech. At the end of the day, if he can wake himself up, he's just in limbo in life, and he was perfect for that role. And it's one of those movies where I don't think anybody would have played his role as good, just as much as nobody would have played the White Goodman role with Ben Stiller. That definitely elevates the movie. But in general, man, the whole cast, everything gets knocked out of the park. Dodgeball is a comedy classic for me, and Vince Vaughn is a big reason for that. Just, you know, of course, Vince Vaughn with the, oh my God, like going crazy moments is hilarious. But the other thing that makes Vince Vaughn so special is his facial expressions and the way he reacts to things. He just has this natural knack for it, and him playing off of White Goodman, Ben Stiller's character, those facial expressions he gives, it's a perfect time for him to really just nail that down and show why he is so good at those things. He was amazing in Dodgeball. And then number 2, remember how I talked about how Vince Vaughn wasn't so good in the serious roles, you know, when he was younger, earlier on, so he broke into comedy a little more. Of course, swingers, all that, we got it. But he broke into comedy and really found his niche. Well, if you're living under a rock or you don't like good movies, he has kind of reemerged into the serious roles, and he's done that through maybe my favorite director right now, S. Craig Zahler. And this movie right here, Dragged Across Concrete, Mel Gibson, Vince Vaughn, is fucking amazing. And Vince Vaughn is great in it. I love that S. Craig has kind of gave him the opportunity to reemerge his career. Like in this, of course, his career is good. We get that. The comedy's amazing. But for him to reemerge in more of the dramatic, serious kind of role. And Dragged Across Concrete is a slow burn of a fucking movie, but Vince Vaughn is perfect for the role. Like, you know, there was a part of me that was like, Vince Vaughn, like going into these S. Craig Zahler movies. I love Vince Vaughn, but haven't we already done this? Haven't we already seen this? Vince Vaughn isn't the best serious actor. I wonder if anything, he might drag it down. Maybe not drag it down, because I don't think he's a bad serious actor. I never thought that of him. But he's not going to elevate it to levels. He's just kind of like this in the serious roles. He proved me completely wrong in this movie and the other movie he's done with S. Craig Zahler. And it is just insane to like see him get that second chance. And I love that about the movie. Like, I'm rooting for him as an actor in the movie. I'm like, dude, fuck yeah. S. Craig Zahler is really giving Vaughn a chance. And he's not just fucking letting it go by, idly by. He's fucking taking it and running with it. He does such a good job in this movie. I wouldn't want anybody else to be, you know, Mel Gibson's right-hand man, partner, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Dragged Across Concrete is a slow burn, but once it gets there, once it gets dark, once it gets fucking crazy, the unexpected nature of it, it is amazing. Vince Vaughn is solid as hell in that movie, and if you're not familiar with S. Craig Zahler's work, definitely watch this damn movie. But know who you are. Do you like slow burns? Do you like graphic movies? Because you're going to get a high dose of both of those. And then at number 1, S. Craig Zahler's other movie with Vince Vaughn, Brawl in Cell Block 99. Now, I could almost put Dragged as number 1. I went back and forth. S. Craig Zahler's movies are all like perfection to me. He's got 3 of them, and I literally cannot rank them because they're all so damn good. But I guess since Dragged is the most recent one, maybe I love it a little more just because it's more fresh on the mind. But what made me put Brawl first is, even though Vaughn is the lead star, he's the lead star with Gibson. It kind of goes back and forth, and you could probably make the argument that Gibson's a little bit more of the main star. And Brawl, it is flat out his vehicle. He is the main guy. He's the one on camera all the damn time. And what does he do? Again, this was actually his first chance with S. Craig. Because like I said, Drad came out after. Vaughn runs with it. He kills it, man. He is so great as this badass guy that you just believe. You believe him 100% that he is this off the chain. He honestly, like, you also get the vibe because he's so good at this that he is a good guy deep down. But let me tell you, he is not afraid to fucking go there. And he shows it in this movie. Some of the deaths in this movie will make your fucking stomach curl, dude. Like, you want to look away. You're like, oh, like, it is rough. And again, that slow build that S. Craig Zoller has in his movies really helps that, I think, because you're like, where is this going? And you're kind of almost like, yeah, I'm falling asleep. Whoa. So, like, when it actually goes down, you're like, shit. There's more of an impact. And Vaughn brings it, dude. He fucking brings it. He is fucking people up in this movie. He's got something. He's got an ultimatum that's presented to him. That's all I'll say. And he is fucking taking it there for that ultimatum because he's not fucking playing games about it. No apologies, no nothing. I have to get this done. It's that important to him because what's on the line. And when he gets into those prisons and he is just fucking people up left and right, it is a treat to watch, man. Let me tell you. And that is my number one Vince Vaughn movie. Not a lot of comedies in here, actually. 3 out of 5 were drama, action type flicks. I don't know if you expected that. But also, of course, I left off Wedding Crashers, Old School. Even, I was talking about the other day, one I love, Four Christmases, The Breakup, very underrated. He's got a bunch, dude. There was a bunch in that, because I wanted 3 comedies at least. Or no, not 3 comedies. I narrowed it down to where I was like, I wanted the one comedy, Dodgeball, because that's undoubtedly my favorite of his work as far as like movies go. Maybe not my favorite performance from him, but it's Dodgeball, man. And then that last spot, I was like, I feel like I got to throw in another comedy. And there was just so many. And it was hard to choose, and my love for The Watch won out, like I said, because it's so underrated. And, like, let's boost this movie up for a change. But he actually, has some action and drama movies that are that fucking good. And I think they deserve to be out there a little bit more, surprisingly, if you don't know that about Vince Vaughn. Not particularly you, Adam, but in general, people might be sleeping on a couple of these flicks, maybe even the older one with The Cell, too. But, yeah, man. It was a tough top 5 to narrow down. It was definitely not cut and dry. I love some Vince Vaughn too, Adam. And damn, man, I wonder if you've seen all these flicks. Because if you haven't and you somehow are like, oh, The Cell, like, yeah, I kind of remember that when I was younger, but I'm not sure if I saw it, or like, fuck, dude. S. Craig Zoller's 2 movies. If you haven't watched those because they're not as mainstream, hopefully I gave you a couple movies since you love Vince Vaughn so much that you can go watch them and be like, oh, shit. Maybe not, though. You're the Vince Vaughn guy, right? Let me know about that. But I appreciate the question. Like I said, I'm sorry it took so long. Keep these top 5 videos coming because we're loving it. If y'all motherfuckers want a hat, we got hats going on now. Of course, check us out on Spotify. Check us out on YouTube. We got our own Podbean website now. Check us out everywhere, man. We're everywhere. Love y'all, man. Keep up the good work in the group. We almost to 1,000. Invite your friends so we can get to that giveaway.